A better way to clean the air? Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from a company called Trombe, Trombe, our CEO, Burt Lancaster. Hi, Burt.
Good morning. How are you?
Terrific. And also inventor, HBO. Hi, HB.
Hi.
Well,
Good morning.
you have been running a successful campaign on Indiegogo for the Trombe airborne dust cleaner, and it looks different and operates differently from more traditional air cleaners and purifiers. Give us the overview here. Burt, do you want to go first, and then we'll turn to the inventor?
Sure. The Trombe system uses a vortex, like a tornado, picks up all the air in a room, and compared to the other types of things. My background was in air purification for medical facilities, pharmaceutical facilities, semiconductor, those type of things, where dust is a real problem. And the problem is that the traditional things like ionization and things like that just capture the particles that happen to come by or in very close proximity, but they don't get the whole room or the whole area. But the Trombe system actually picks up the air and moves it through. And if you if you look at the video, you see a graphic representation of how it gathers in comparison to other types of purifier or air cleaners that just basically take the dust that's in proximity, very close, and it does an effective job if you're within 6 inches or a foot away. The Trombe will basically take a whole room and clean it all out.
That sounds really terrific, and we've been testing out a unit, and so far we've been pretty impressed. HB, tell me how this came about, your work on this.
Basically, I'd like to begin my speech. Technology evolution never begin without question. I got to have question about the conventional air purifiers. Does it really capture or remove dust or particles in your room? I doubt about that. I approached in different way. There's a very simple physics. Fine particles always move toward air currents, stronger air currents. That's very common sense, right? If there's a two air current, one is weak, the other one is strong, which airstream the dust will be followed? It's common sense. The faster and stronger air currents. In conventional air purifiers, problem is that the incoming air and existing airstream, there are two different airstreams. The force of airstream is the velocity of air current, speed of wind. That's the force, air force, right? There's no doubt that exhaust airspeed is much stronger and faster than intake airstream, maybe 5-10 times stronger. Then dust surrounding the device will move toward the exhaust airstream. There's no doubt about that, right? So, there are maybe hundreds of air purifier manufacturers in the world, but they always just say, they talk about filters inside of the device. And other mechanisms like PCO, ozone or plasma, UVC, something like that. But actually, there's no big difference in filter system. Why? There's no air purifier company manufacture filters by themselves. We just buy from the filter companies. If filter company develop very excellent one, we use that. We buy them. Everybody buy from the filter company. Why they don't talk about how strongly they catch and remove the dust in your room? Why? There was no way in last 100 years. I got a question, how the tornado vortex suck everything, even heavy cars? Is there any way to duplicate or replicate that the strong tornado vortex? That was my question. I spent more than a decade. And then finally, I got a solution. I got to find a way to duplicate and replicate the tornado vortex. And then I utilize that technology into the air purifier. Actually, I put that with a strong vortex in front of the inlet, not inside. It is in front of the inlet. We form a strong vortex. That vortex strongly collect the surrounding dust and particles and the heavier particles. That's it. That makes big difference. Consequently, incoming and suctioning air speed of a Trombe is 5 times stronger than outgoing exhaust stream speed. So dust just drawn into the inlet side, not move toward exhaust air. That's a big difference. So in short, the suctioning power of Trombe is 30-40 times stronger than conventional air purifier.
And another factor here, and I don't know which one of you wants to answer this, is that you've been able to do this in a way that the machine is still quiet, despite that power that you're describing. So tell me how important that is and how you achieve that.
Most air purifier companies want to improve the suctioning power by increasing the airflow rate. To increase airflow rate, there's only one way. Increase the rotation speed. That's only the way. In short, they increase the incoming air speed by increasing the air volume. But we do in different way. We don't increase air volume or air speed. It means we don't increase the rotation speed of impeller. We just form a vortex in front of the inlet. That's the secret. That's the way, because we use we don't use big and high speed impeller. It makes it quiet. Can you understand that?
Sure.
The solution by other people is like a jet engine, because you get a bigger jet engine and makes more noise, and that's the only way they can get higher flow rates out of it. But our system is very quiet. If you've seen it, you can hardly hear it run.
Well, tell me more about some of the other features here. This is actually monitoring the air quality, and you're saying you have something called integrative AI built into this. Tell me about that.
Actually, we have a built-in PM1 sensor. That PM1 sensor kept monitor the indoor air quality in 24 hours. And then that air sensor, PM sensor, tells when it turns on the machine or when it turns off the machine. And actually, when the indoor air quality keeps below 0.1, below 10 microgram per square meter for 3 minutes, then it automatically turns off the device. When the indoor air quality comes over 10 microgram per square meter, it automatically turns on again. That's the way.
Mhm.
Of course, according to the indoor air quality index, like if the indoor air quality is like within below 30 microgram per square meter, it displays blue light. In 31 to 8, it displays green light. And 81 to 150, it shows orange, and over 150, red. That's the way.
So you have an idea of what the air quality is like. So you've also put in some other touches here, and Burt, maybe you want to address these for consumers, a built-in kind of night light and a USB port as well, assuming this is going to be in a place that, whether it's an office room or a bedroom or something along those lines, where that could be very handy.
Those things are always handy. And of course, if you have it in a bedroom or even a living room, kitchen, wherever it happens to be in a residential situation, night light is very helpful to get around. The interesting thing is also it's very energy efficient. It doesn't use a lot because the PM particle monitoring system, PM1 system, shuts down when it's when there's not required. So that's an important thing. But with the nightlight and the charger, I have the same problem. Every plug in the house has got something plugged into it, and it's wonderful. I can plug my cell phone into the Trombe and get it charged up again. With just an added convenience and to keep things going. And many parts of the world, I don't know about New Jersey, but parts of the US and certainly out here in California, we get power outages occasionally. And of course, then the Trombe doesn't work, but if your cell phone is charged up, at least you have connection to the outer world. And it does a great job of keeping the dust down. And looking at the US, particularly say California, West Coast, where we had all these fires and there's ash floating everywhere. Last year, I literally could not see across the street from the smoke that was coming from 200 miles away. But the Trombe system will clean that out, keep my house clean. Other parts, you go down to like Austin, Texas, where people are moving. A lot of people are moving down there for the tech sector that's down there. They get what's called cedar fever, and that's the pollen that comes off the cedar trees down there. It's very allergenic, but this thing will keep your house clear and keep your nose clear and stop you from sneezing along the way. And other parts of the US, the dust in the Midwest, other parts of the area where Mr. O is in Seoul, Korea, they get a dusting all the time. That's a joke, is that Russia or Russia is sending them more land because the wind blows the dust off the steppes of Russia and it drops all over Korea. And they've got exactly one square inch more land now, but it makes a terrible mess in an office or anything. But this Trombe is a wonderful system for keeping things clean, not only from dust on the surface, but also airborne things. And that's why
how large of a room is it designed to clean? And how expensive are, say, filter replacements?
The coverage is 26 square meter.
26 square meters.
And the cost of filter replacement is, you must replace as a set, like, carbon filter and HEPA filter at the same time. The filter set costs about $30, less than $30.
That's pretty economical. And tell me about availability today and pricing in the US. I don't know which one of you is more appropriate for that.
Actually, you know that we are on the Indiegogo campaign. It costs, $259.
$259 for the Trombe. And this has been for sale in Korea previously?
Yeah.
This has been available there, and you've
Yeah,
gotten
it's
a
available
great
in Korea.
reception there, I understand.
Yeah. We are a little big hit in Korea.
Where is it that people can go for more information?
Actually, in Korea or in America?
In America.
Trombeair.com.
Trombeair.com. It's TROMBE air.com. Well, very interesting. Congratulations on the use of this technology and the innovation. I have to ask you, HB, was there anything in particular that steered you to try to do something like this? Was there anything? Why did you go in this direction?
Actually, my company is not just an air purifier company. Our company is a technology company. I developed this vortex because Burt and I have been in semiconductor industry more about 30-40 years. I know very well about the importance of particles in semiconductor fabs. But even in fab, they use giant and huge HVAC system. Even with that big blower, they cannot catch the dust.
That's right.
I got to have question, why not? I got to know that the secret is that is not air itself. Air is just a media of moving, carrying particles. When you run a fan, the real purpose is to catch and draw particles, not air itself. We are just utilizing air. Utilizing airspeed, let air carry the particles, right? So if the airspeed is too slow, it cannot carry particles. In ventilation industry, we call it capture velocity. Capture velocity means the minimum airspeed needs to carry the particles. That's the concept of capture velocity. Actually, one day I thought that the nature's tornado vortex is really strong. Why? How? I raised the question. And then the secret was the very strong speed, velocity, influence of the tornado vortex. That extremely high, velocity means it creates lowest air pressure. It means it makes big pressure, air pressure differential. It means, in other words, we call it vacuum. It sucks surrounding all the heavy, even heavy cars. Anyway, I spent more than a decade. Finally I got to find a solution how to make the vortex, and then after that, I'm utilizing this technology in many different applications, like bath fan, in kitchen hood, industrial hood, and the industrial dust collector, and rapid smoke fume extractor, and like that. There are so many applications with this technology. We developed Trombe airborne dust cleaner. It is just one of our various applications.
Well, terrific. We're anxious to follow then what comes next in your product line as well.
Mhm.
And again, the website is Trombe, Trombe air.com.
Mhm.
Burt and HB, thank you so much for spending time with us.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.